Another good thing about WCNC Plus, especially our live weather impact show, is we're able to talk a little bit more in depth about weather topics and just have a little bit more time to talk about them and explain them. And I think that was very beneficial with this weekend.
Yeah.
Talking about Tropical Depression 3.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions.
Watching it, right?
Yes. It is not going to be a huge impact for us here in inland North and South Carolina. Now, bigger impacts near the coast, but it is going to bring in better chances for rain Sunday. But again, it is not going to be a complete washout. It's not a weekend ruiner. But if you had plans to, let's say, go out on the boat Sunday, switch them to Saturday just to be safe, as we are going to be watching areas of rain and thunderstorms and eventually some higher rain chances returning by the end of next week as we settle into a more classic summertime pattern. A live picture here from Monroe, still seeing some of that haze in the sky, likely from that temperature inversion, but at least no rain to talk about. We did have one strong storm in parts there of southeastern Chesterfield County earlier, but at least across the metro, dry and quiet. As we look at this big cluster here of very, very lopsided rain and storms, that's what's Tropical Depression 3. It did get its close center of circulation earlier. It did have its winds of about 30 or so miles an hour, which means that it's officially a tropical depression, our third of the season. You might be thinking, what? Tropical Depression 3? Well, we did have Andrea and Barry, two named storms that did not impact us here in the United States, but Andrea stayed out to sea. That was about 2 weeks ago. And last week we had Barry, which formed in the southern Gulf. So this is Tropical Depression 3. If it does get a name, it would be Chantal, the sea name that we have so far this year. Not that so far, but we are seeing winds getting a little bit higher there, 35 miles an hour with gusts 45. Relatively stationary at this time, but eventually a front that is situated just north is going to start to filter away. And as it does so, it's going to essentially project 3 into the Carolina coast. Now, right now, there's a pretty large cluster there of track. This is going to, again, be very, very minimal here. It is going to reach the coast, already providing elevated rip currents and, of course, elevated dangerous beach conditions because of the increased wave heights. But notice as it goes inland, it is mostly going to stay east of us here in the Charlotte area. And regardless, we sometimes do get impacts, right, from a storm that's not right over us. But this is the side to be on, the western side of the storm. You get less rain, less wind, and that additional severe weather risk is not in place. That's over on the eastern side of these storms. So here's a look at one of our Futurecast models. Very, very, very shifted eastward here. You can see Saturday at 7 o'clock. Most areas dry. A little bit of rain moving in, especially in eastern parts there of the Charlotte area by 7 o'clock in the morning. We will continue that rain off and on through the majority of your Sunday, but notice as the spin continues to pull east, that's where we're going to see the majority of that rain. So that's why the rainfall forecast very, very lopsided for the Carolinas. Worse rain over toward the eastern side there, Raleigh, Wilmington, over toward the Outer Banks, whereas areas west of 77, not getting much here locally. We could cluster near 1 to 1.5 inches over the next 7 days for areas east of Charlotte, but again, that's going to be prolonged over multiple days. So this isn't even just the weekend rainfall forecast. Look, this is the 7-day rainfall forecast. So minimal impacts locally, better chances for rain and storms on Sunday, gusty winds coming with some of those thunderstorms, but nothing severe expected. Because of the rain and storms Sunday, temperatures dropping a little bit to the upper 80s, but we are roaring back with the heat Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with multiple days in the mid-90s.
All right. Brittany, thank you.